Okay, go, you're on.
All right. So tonight we're just going to talk a bit about team meetings and some different ways that you might do them. But I am a facilitator, and what that means is that other people participate too, beyond me. So, but I want to share, and I will tell you, this is from lots of different experiences with lots of other leaders. So this is not all me. I have done meetings over the years with a variety of leaders, particularly with Cheryl Simon, Judy Kinney, Pamela Holliday, Sherry Shropshire, and some others. So for sure want to mention that for starting. But I think that, what we have found out recently is that, what we had hoped to do, I'll tell you a little bit of what we tried and didn't work, and then tell you what we've sort of settled on for the moment. So we had hoped that we could do a Zoom meeting like this every week with our team, just to be able to build that sense of community and sense of team and all. But as much as this is great, and I love the connection that you get with this, I love like seeing people's faces, putting faces with names, that whole thing. It's not easy for everybody to do that frequently. So, and it's also really important that it have content, because just coming to chat is not enough for somebody to sit, because you can do things while you're doing it, but it's not as easy as, being on Facebook whenever that time works. So, so what we have sort of fallen to is doing a once a month Zoom meeting. So we do it the first Monday of every month. We do a Zoom meeting. It's 30 minutes and no more. And we're very, very particular about making sure it's 30 minutes, because we want people to know that once they come, they'll be done we started at 9, we'll be done at 9:30. We do that Eastern, so we start at 9 Eastern, so it's obviously different times for other people. What I was saying earlier too was Charlene was like, well, we'll wait for 5 minutes and then we'll get started. We do not do that. When it is 9 p.m., we start. We don't wait because, we want to respect people's time, and we are only 30 minutes. And so we want to jam it as full as we can in that time frame. So the other thing is, and although it's great, when we first started, we had everybody introduce themselves, because we had sort of meshed some teams and wanted everybody to get to know one another. But really, we have found that going around and introducing yourself and saying some little thing or whatever, it's a turnoff to a lot of people, and it's a waste of their time. And so they want right away something that's good. So sometimes we'll go around and have people, we certainly want to have interaction with people, and we want people to, ask questions or contribute. But we've just found that if you do it with a large group, you don't have enough time for everybody to say something or to just introduce themselves. So we really have sort of cut that down and really done more of a little bit of rah-rah at the beginning, of recognizing people's accomplishments for the past month, whether that's sales or recruiting or just having something great that's gone on in their business. And so we might sort of single somebody out and say, hey, we really want you to share about how that worked for you. If somebody had a great book fair or a great booth or some fantastic party, we'll say, so-and-so had $1,000 party. Could you share some of the top tips? So they're learning something right away, and it might not relate to what we're going to train about, but they're at least, there's just something, there's going to be a tidbit to take. So that really, we do that, and then we just dive into whatever training topic it is. So it's always a training. It's always about something. So what we've done is we have done themes for every month. And so our trainings correspond to that theme. So this month was about recruiting. And so our training was about just sharing the business and being comfortable doing it. So it's just, whatever the theme is for the month, that's what the topic of the training is going to be. And then we do the second Monday of the month, we do a Facebook training. So we're trying to hit people in different ways. So if somebody can't do a Zoom, they're still going to be able to get a training online. So we'll do a Facebook training. And again, we try to keep those to just a half hour as well. And so it's just another way to get people to attend. It's just everybody has a different schedule, and everybody has a different interest, and everybody has a different, willingness to spend time to get information. So I think that, you kind of have to entice people to come. So we have done on-time drawings for the Zoom calls to give away something, or we've had some prize that we're going to give away, but only for those that attend. We do the same thing for the Facebook meetings. There's oftentimes some prize for being there and commenting. So like just as a way to get people there. It seems like we shouldn't have to do that, but everybody needs a little bit of something to make them take the time out of their day. So, but those are the only 2 trainings we do a month. So our team knows that it's 2 30-minute trainings a month. It's a way to connect with the team. All the other information is going to come out through Facebook, or it's going to be personal calls, whatever way you communicate with your team members. I was saying earlier that I actually have a team. I have a group that are Amish, and so Facebook's not an option for them. Zoom they can do, and they can dial in. So as long as they are able to use a phone, they can do that. But I do still hold an in-person meeting with them. It is much more informal, though. We're just getting together. We're just talking about the special for the month, talking about some issues that they might have encountered. They're almost a completely home party group. And so we spend a lot of time just talking about that, and also some booths in order to get some new leads. But I still love to do that. So I love getting together with them and just spending time with them and and I still get together with other people on my, other team members of mine too. It might be individually for those that are local. But I really do. I think there's a lot to be said about that. I'm also a big proponent of phone calls. So I do try to touch base with each of my team members that way too. So I think, we can plan all these great trainings for a team, but I think we still have that as a team leader, we still have that responsibility, at least to our central group for sure, to reach out to them and spend time with them by phone, email, the different ways. So, and I think that, so what we've really tried to do is to listen to our younger leaders who have told us, what really doesn't work. And so we have a team that Zoom doesn't work for them. And so, that's why we do the Facebook option, the 1 week too. So like we know certain people aren't going to come on a Zoom call. I don't know a way to entice them to come. They've decided not to. So, so just offering those different things. I don't know whether, you guys have found anything different that's worked, or if you do something special that's really been, worked out well. We do have a good number of people that do come on the Zoom call. And I think those are the people that like to connect, like to see people and like to be part of a group. And it's not that the Facebook people don't, it's just a different way of connecting. So,
so Cynthia, the two different meetings, do you do the same thing at both?
It's the same sort of topic, but it's a little bit different. So it's not identical training. Because, so like we were just sort of talking about recruiting on the Zoom call, and just sort of places that you can do that, and, ideas of just becoming comfortable with it. And then the Facebook training was actually more specific words that you could use depending on what your venue was. So like what you would say at a home party, what you'd say at a booth. So they're not identical, but they're the same topic.
So for the Facebook one, is it like a slick presentation? Because for Zoom, you can go on and you can be prepared like you are tonight, but still you're just kind of having a conversation. With, and you can kind of adjust as you go along. But for the Facebook party, what do you do?
It's just like a home party. It's the same thing. It's just posts and graphics and interaction that way. It's identical to doing it that way.
So you work on doing graphics for whatever it is you're doing that particular week, and Or that month
for that
or
month.
whatever.
For that one training
Mhm.
that month.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and we don't do necessarily go live
Right.
during it or even do videos, unless they pertain to the topic.
Okay.
I think, this is my personal opinion. I think that going live is great, but I think going live on your team page all the time, I don't have time, or I'm not always in a place where I can listen to that. But if you would type it out in a post, I can read it, and I can do that anytime.
Right.
So I think that you kind of have to be careful.
I kind of feel that way about videos in general. It's like, I don't like learning from videos, really. I would rather read something, but that may be my age,
But I don't think so, because I honestly, I look how long a video is. And if it says it's 6 minutes, I don't watch it. If it says it's 2 minutes, I'll watch it. But I mean, I just don't. I mean, I shouldn't say I don't, but I'll be like, well, that's not going to work for me right now.
Right.
So I think that you just have to really be cautious if you're doing videos, that it's quick, like that you're just doing this little bit of it. And then, and I think that overall, that's what we're seeing on our team and on parties and everything. Things need to be pretty quick in order for people to be able to do it. But I just think it's hard to, you're not always at a place where you can listen, to something. So it makes it a lot easier if you can, if you can read it too. So,
Okay.
but yeah. So what do other people do, or what do you do with Zoom meetings that you found really successful or?
Well, I've been using Zoom for a while now, and I get my new recruits on there as soon as possible. And the reason is I want them to get used to it and to see it's fairly easy and it's really no big deal. So one of the first trainings I do with them is on Zoom, so we can go look at their back office and their e-commerce site, because you can share your page, your desktop with them, and then see everything really easily that way. So yes. And also the second thing I do is just for that personal contact, which I think you're right, Cynthia, that even though we have, auto posters and Facebook parties and all the different things we do, we still have to somehow make a personal contact with that person through a phone call or something like that. And then somehow maintain those personal times with a person. Although not everybody wants to do phone calls, they want a message or something like that. But I know Camille a few years ago at beach training, several years ago at beach training, was talking about how when somebody had sales on her team for that month, she would then reach out to them. That would be her first person they would reach out to and say, hey, I saw you had sales, great job. Do you need anything? Is there anything you're working on you want to talk about? Just kind of reach out and make a contact again with that person. And she had said that it really made a difference in her central group. She was able to really grow her central group in sales with that. She felt like that was significant. And I started trying it, and I saw a difference in it too. Instead of they're just out there by themselves and nothing happens. So, a little congratulations every month, or I see you had a show, or you had this or something.
Yeah. I think that really, I know that's not related to our meeting topic, but I do think that's really important. And something that we've been doing as a larger team is we've been doing a consultant of the month. And it doesn't mean they have a high sales, and it doesn't mean they're the top recruiter. It's just somebody who has been successful that could benefit from that recognition. I mean, we don't list why they're consultant of the month. We just say that they've been chosen as it. And they get so excited about that. So we do a post on Facebook with their picture, of all of them from each team. And then the other thing that I've been doing is I've been sending a postcard to my people that have had good, like anybody who's had over 1,000 in sales in a month. Or I've noticed I've had people that have had, several months in a row where they've had that. And so I've sent them a postcard to be like, hey, congratulations, you've had 2 months in a row. And I get messages from them back all the time. They'll send me something, or they'll text. They're so excited. They're like, thank you, Cynthia, I got your postcard. You know, but I remember
it's different. Yeah.
I remember getting those things from Diane Workman all those years ago, and I loved it. Like I loved it. And when Judy sends me something now, I love it. Like it's just it's a personal touch. And so a lot of times, like I'll take postcards with me if I'm doing a booth or something where I know I'm going to have some downtime, and I just write them out there, and then I just, you know, do it that way. So I've been trying just to touch base with them in lots of different ways. But, you know, the people that are my steady people, like I mean, even if they're just selling $500 a month or whatever consistently, I want them to know, hey, I think you're doing great.
And I noticed that somebody notices that you're doing that.
Yeah. Or I'll send a message, Facebook message, and I'll be like, hey, you had a great month. And they, you know, one of my ladies was like, I didn't think it was that good. I'm like, I thought it was fantastic, you know, like what you did. And, you know, you've worked through some difficult situations, and look, you still had sales. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's great. Well, I think that the meetings are a way to reach out and connect. That's what they are. So all of these are ways to reach out and connect with your team. And sometimes when you catch them, you also you hear about what they need at the same time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I just don't feel like I'm good at recruiting or something like that.
Right.
You know, so you might.
So we do always on our Zoom meetings, and also on the Facebook, but particularly Zoom, we do end with questions. Like if anybody has any questions, or if there's something that they're needing help with. I think that that's one of the really great things about Zoom is that you connect your team members to one another, and then they will talk to one another. And I think that that's huge when people start to like feel comfortable reaching out to somebody sideways instead of up. That's when like really great things happen on your team. I really think so. And even across teams, like, you know, like for you and Sharon, if you do something together, they don't really know who belongs to who.
Yeah.
So, you know, then everybody just starts working together. And I think that is overall good for the teams, but it's good for the company. Like, you don't, you know, there's none of that concern. So,
because you never know who they're going to connect with, you know.
Yeah. So I do want to make note, just since this is recorded, and I don't know if everybody has been on Zoom before, but you can sign up for a Zoom account. It's just zoom.us. And it's totally free. You get 40 minutes free. I've never paid for mine. So, and if you get cut off, you just say, hey, we're going to just come back on. So,
and that's a good point, that if you get cut off, you can just log back into a new party.
You can log back in immediately. So there's no investment involved. So I don't want anybody to feel like, oh, I can't do it. You can have up to 100 people on. So, you know, until your team gets larger than 100,
really big,
you know, and everybody's attending, then
you can have 2 meetings a month if you want.
So, but I mean, if you want to pay for it, you can. There are some additional features, but it's not necessary, I guess is what I'm saying. So it's very easy to sign up and to use.
It's very easy to use. Yeah.
It's so easy to use. So.
Right. Yeah, I love it.
Okay, who else has meetings? I know Brianna, you guys have a meeting. You want to say anything, Brianna? Brianna, are you there?
We have meetings. It's usually the first Sunday of each month. We haven't had much success getting people to be on there, so it's kind of like a little core team of 3 to 4 people, which is almost kind of deflating when you're trying to, you know, train your team. But so we were doing them once a week, and because no one was coming, we started doing it once a month. But they're more focused now too on a specific topic. So,
I think one thing that we've found that has been helpful is that we text our team members right before it starts. As a reminder. Because you know, I have somebody who just said to me, Cynthia, you're going to have to text me because I always forget. And so once I started texting them, they get on. So I don't know if that would help you, Brianna, but it's worth a try to do.
Or you find text is better than a message on Facebook?
I do. I mean, but however people best communicate, I just like I usually text them. So
I usually send a message to everybody before something starts, you know, everybody that's a part of it. So
I just think that not everybody gets their messages as much as you might think. Like you
That's
know,
true.
so.
That's true.
But
Heather did. Oh, go ahead, Cynthia.
No, I was just gonna say, that's, for some people, that's the best way to communicate, so.
Yeah, right. Heather, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I hold team meetings too. By the way, does anybody have a way to get rid of the computer glare on your glasses?
Obviously
Is it on mine?
Yeah, so I do team meetings once a month on Monday nights, and those are live team meetings, and then I have team time weekly. So, and team time is like a mini training, usually on something. So.
Okay,
And is
so
that
what do you?
all Zoom?
No, so the team times are part Zoom and part Facebook event, and then the monthly meetings are in person usually, and then I'll have like a Facebook event or something for people to watch who can't make it in person. My team is sort of national, but not. It's mostly based in New England still, so getting there.
Okay, good. All right. Anybody else? Brittany, have you held meetings?
Stopped doing the Zoom meetings because people just weren't showing up. Like literally, I'd have just one person.
Yeah.
So I run the Facebook meetings, which is it's easier for me because I sleep at different times than everybody. Pretty much. My daughter is a true night owl. She stays up till 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Like literally, it's flip flopped. So
Wow. She is a night owl.
she's a night owl.
Wow.
So the Facebook parties or the Facebook events work better for me, and it seems to work better for my I have a small team, but this summer they seem to be hit pretty hard with some personal things going on in their life. So I backed off of the team meetings and I just touch base with them one-on-one, at least every other day. And then a couple of them I'm actually connecting with them more on like a personal level, that way I just, I'm not trying to be like their counselor or anything, but at least give them some empathy to say, I'm not just here to like get you to make me money.
Yeah, right. That you're a friend. Sure.
Yeah. And that I understand that life happens. And one of the beauties of Usborne is the fact that you can take a week off if you need it. Kind of thing. So I think now that the fall is getting back in full swing, the kids are finally, getting back to school, or this next week is going to be they're back to school. They'll get their rhythm back again and possibly have some more free time and hopefully I wanted to have something weekly going, but I personally have been struggling with time management and fitting it all in. And, I get a lot done at 3 o'clock in the morning. My daughter's pretty cool, calm, and collected, and she knows to be quiet and she can play by herself. But at the same time, man, inspiration does not come at 3 o'clock in the morning.
So Brittany, what did you find? Did you talk to your team about why they didn't come to the Zoom meetings to find out?
Most of them just said it just didn't fit for them. Like either they had personal things going on. Some of them just didn't respond, at all. But I know that they saw the event. Like I can see like the little thing that they saw, and some of them I see using some of the tips that I presented in, like, because I'm friends with them on Facebook. So I'll see, if they share anything, I'll ask them and they'll come back to me and use some of the similar words. So I notice that they're tapping in, but they're just not ones to really participate and comment. So I'm still putting it out there. I have a Google Drive for them to look at. I mean, I've got all the resources for them. So, and I point them in the different directions. That way I'm just not spoon feeding the information to them. So, give them a little independence and, find some things.
Right.
But, I think the fall will be a little bit better as far as reconnecting, and getting it going again.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody else have any thoughts on meetings? They do kind of come and go, don't you think, Cynthia? Have you been consistent all the way through it? I mean, you'll have regular meetings, they go great, and then something might change, and then it kind of slacks off a little bit. And so they do kind of come and go, and you can kind of read the room. And if nobody's coming, then you stop having them for a little bit, but then try again. Mm-hmm.
I think that was why we just decided once a month for Zoom, that we might get more people because it's only 1 week and 30 minutes that
Right.
maybe they can try to come to.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Did
still.
you
not
get
yet.
more people? Okay.
I think that we did. Yeah, I think that it has worked out. And we've been pretty good about like letting them know that we were making that change because we respected their time, kind of trying to help them to realize that, hey, we get it, that,
Right.
you don't eat, breathe, and live this. And so,
Right.
so, yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea that you do too, though, in different formats. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. So I guess while you're thinking about your subject and preparing for one, you have the other one going at the same time.
Yeah,
so it's not that
it
much
makes
work.
it, because then it all flows. So it's pretty easy to do it, and then you can have any challenge you want to do, can coordinate with it, like it all
coordinates.
It all just goes together, so we just plan it
That's
a month
neat.
at a time. We've got those themes. So
Right.
So
That's
Cynthia, let me ask you, so you do 30 minutes for your Zoom meeting. So you don't have introductions, but you might have some kind of recognition that lasts what, 5 minutes?
Yeah. Or so. Yeah.
Yeah. And then your training is how long?
It's probably 10 or 15 minutes. And then there's time for discussion and any questions that people have, or if somebody wants to add to it, that's great too. I mean, there's, we have a number of leaders that are doing it together. So there might be another leader that has something they want to add, or there might be somebody else who's had something really successful happen along those lines and they'll share. So we might be done in 20 or 25 minutes. Like if we're not, like, we don't have to be 30 minutes,
Right. I'm just wondering, is there any other element besides those?
Well, really just asking questions and making sure if anybody has something, we try to take questions initially that correspond to the topic, so that we don't get, how to enter an order in Order Pro.
Right.
But then if we have extra time, then we'll be like, hey, we still have a few minutes. Does anybody have any questions about something else, or have you had something that's gone well that you want to share?
And
or,
what about your?
Well, I was just going to say, or we might at the beginning have people share about something that's gone well for them. Whether we're specifically asking or a person, or whether we're just saying, hey, who's done a booth lately that's gone really well, and what have you done that's really you've seen a difference, that's made that difference. So.
And what about your incentive or your giveaway or drawing or your bribery?
Yeah. Oh, for the meeting?
Yes. How do you do that?
We just do a random drawing for whoever has, whether they've commented, like if we've asked them to comment and attend, then, those people that did that, they get in or whatever. It's just a random,
And you send out a book or a prize of some sort?
Yeah, usually somebody has something that they're going to do. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not anything major, but just something extra that we have around. I don't know. I know 2 people that have done that before. So,
and it was so fun. It was great.
Used postage stamps. Yep.
They weren't used.
I know they weren't. But no, so just something simple. It doesn't have to be anything major. It's really just, it's always fun to go someplace and maybe win something.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Right. So I was thinking, I have extra boxes of greeting cards. Like maybe we could.
There you go.
A pack of 5 or something, something like
simple that you can throw in the mail that everybody will be happy to get. So
yeah, hopefully.
Oh, they will. If not, they'll give it to somebody.
Of course. Yeah. So okay, well, great. So
I just want to add one thing.
Please do.
The only one thing that you guys didn't cover is the fact that there are some people who may be willing to come to Zoom, but they will never, ever let their face appear on a recording. So one of the things everybody who's a leader may want to do is to be able to give instructions on how to put a picture, like how mine is a picture, to the people who may be coming. Because I you know, I used to have like the same 2 people showing up, and that 2 went to 7. And I at one point I sent out a little survey. It was, you know, or I think I tried an email and that didn't work, but for some reason a Google Doc, people answered it and asked them how they would, you know, if they would come to a Zoom or not. And that helped me really get an idea that, you know, we're talking about like 70% and 30% who were willing to, 30% willing to do Zoom, 70% wanting a Facebook type thing.
Wow.
So, and through that, after I got the people who said Facebook, that changed again when I realized that they were worried about their face being shown. So then it turned to 60-40. So it added another 10% onto the Zoom just for that purpose. So some people may have their families in law enforcement and they can't show their face.
Yes.
There's a lot of different reasons.
Yeah,
you know.
there are lots of reasons. So Lauren, let me ask you, I have a picture that shows up when I turn my camera off, you know, the video part of it off. I have no idea how I did it. Is there simple instructions? Do you know it off the top of your head? How you get a picture on?
It's different on a phone than it is on a computer. So that's the tricky part. It's something that they'd want to do on a laptop instead of their phone.
Okay.
To get to their settings. And in the profile, you can upload a picture. So you go under, you know, your My Account and the profile.
Right.
And you can upload the picture there. And then there's a setting that says, you know, never turn on video and use picture. So that's what they're going to have to set. I could probably send out directions. I just don't. Yeah. I don't ever have anyone do it from their phone because it never works properly and it's like confuses everybody. So.
Okay. So never turn on video.
There must also be a way just to get your name on there, because Heather right now is just a name.
That's because she doesn't have a picture. That's how I come up too. If I turn off my video, it just comes up with however you've logged in. I mean, like whatever name you have listed.
So if they don't want their picture on, they can just do their name.
Right.
I think it's nice, the picture though. I like the picture.
Yeah, I do actually have a picture. I don't know why it's not showing up right now. I'm on my computer.
Another mystery.
On my iPad or whatever, it shows up. So I don't know why.
Yeah.
Lauren, that's a really great point though, because I actually have a team member just totally doesn't like how she looks. And so she didn't want to come on Zoom because of it. And I was like, you don't have to. You don't even have to put a picture up. You know, like it'll be okay. But I think that you're right. There's lots of reasons. So
yeah.
Right. So maybe when you're first inviting the person, you can make that point known that you don't have to turn your video part of it on. You can just have the voice on the audio part. Okay, that's good. I never thought about that too much. Although I do love to be able to just have my, you know, turn the video off and just a picture there, especially like at the director's meeting. So great.
Yeah.
Then you can get something done while everybody's giving their opinions about things. So yeah. Okay. Alrighty. Any other questions or any other thoughts about this subject?
Thank you, Cynthia. It was very helpful.
You're welcome. Yeah, that was very helpful. Very inspiring too. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, hopefully we can, you know, as people do different things, they can post and share on your, on the team page for us to, be able to use. So like if there's some great prize or incentive that's got people there, or if there's some great challenge that's worked, it would be great to. So
if you think of a good bribe, let us know.
A bribe that works. Yeah.
Yes. So. Well, thank you guys.
Thanks
for coming. Thanks for preparing too, Cynthia. That was great.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you for coming, and you have a good night. Okay.
Okay.
You too.
Okay. Good night.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.